Hello guys, welcome to yet another breakdown of The Mandalorian. I do apologize for being late to the party with this upload, but I was setting up my new recording room. Plus, I struggled with copyright claims on my reaction for 5 hours or so, and unfortunately had to reschedule the video. If you want to see me cry, feel free to check it out. Because when live-action Ahsoka appeared, in combination with Kevin Kiner, inspired composition, I just lost it. I don't think I would have cried if it were not for the music. Anyway, with all that being said, here we are, and without further ado, let's get right into the breakdown. Ahsoka appears at the very start of the episode. I think Dave Filoni chose to edit the episode in such a way because of all the leaks. Pretty much everyone suspected that Ahsoka would appear in episode 5, and having a slow build-up with dramatic entrance might not have been as effective. This again speaks volumes about what kind of a genius Filoni is and how he understands storytelling and his audience. Given unique circumstances, he shifted the episode's pacing to invoke greatest possible emotional impact. It seems that Corvus is under the occupation of a tyrannical ex-imperial, a magistrate called Morgan Elsbeth. I'm guessing she's an ex-imperial, like I said, because of the exposition that we were given by Ahsoka. Apparently, Elsbeth was instrumental in construction of the Imperial Navy after the Galactic Empire was formed and her people were massacred during the Clone Wars, likely by the Separatists. Given her martial prowess, I'm thinking she could have some ties to Dathomir. That is just a wild guess on my part though. And she is human, so I'm not sure on that. Her name, Morgan Elsbeth, does have a strong witchy vibe to it, if you know what I mean. We also know that she served, or still serves, under Thrawn. This seems to be the main reason why Ahsoka is on Corvus, hunting the magistrate. But also, Ahsoka, given the type of person that she is, wants to help the people that are oppressed by Elsbeth. Can I just also quickly mention how cool it is that each time Ahsoka appears on screen, a convor can be heard in the background, even visible ones. I think it is safe to assume that the convor in question is Morai, an incarnation of the daughter from the Mortis trilogy. This is such a Filoni thing to do, and is a very cool nod to the Clone Wars. I just love it. Perhaps the magistrate got acquainted with Thrawn all the way back in the Clone Wars and has a sense of loyalty towards him, after he somehow aided her or her people. In canon, Thrawn actually traveled to the Republic space already during the Clone War and met up with none other than Anakin Skywalker. This is part of the Thrawn Alliance's narrative, a novel that I wholeheartedly recommend. It is such an awesome read that has some really cool, mind-blowing interactions between Thrawn and Vader. The question remains, where is Sabine and Ezra at this time? Is Ahsoka still looking for Ezra with Sabine, or have they already found him and somehow came into conflict with Thrawn? We will obviously find out eventually, possibly in the Rebels sequel, whatever it may be, rather than The Mandalorian. I think what is being set up here is a completely separate Star Wars verse of sorts, a narrative that loosely connects to the sequels and yet can do whatever, not worrying about continuity. Thrawn was last with Ezra in Rebels, and all of us wonder what happened to the two after they emerged somewhere in the unknown regions. When Din Djarin finds Ahsoka, we get a big reveal concerning Baby Yoda. It would seem that my previous predictions were in fact correct, and Ahsoka knew who Baby Yoda was all along. We were only given a name, mind you, Grogu, and not much was revealed about the race itself. And it will most likely stay that way, but I think we will find out something about the race this season, or at the very least, at some point in the series. Grogu was raised at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, This is big. We don't know exactly when he arrived at the temple. Could have been a couple of years before the Clone Wars, or even before the Phantom Menace. This sounds like something that might get explored in a novel in greater detail. What seems most intriguing to me is who took Grogu from the temple before the end of the Clone Wars. The way Ahsoka describes it sounds like he was hidden by one of the Jedi Masters, but it could also be that the Jedi in question who hid Grogu did it against the wishes of the members of the Council. There is definitely a story there. Could it be that Palpatine was after Grogu, much like he was after young Force sensitives in the Clone Wars? Given how close Palpatine was with the Jedi, it is likely he knew about Grogu. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. The moment when Ahsoka tells Mandalorian about the Force, much like Obi-Wan did to Luke in A New Hope, is such an awesome callback. Honestly, it gave me chills. But then again, what didn't in this episode? Also, when she mentions Yoda, the Yoda's music theme is playing for a brief moment. It was pretty much a given that Yoda would be referenced in this episode after Ahsoka saw Baby Yoda, or Grogu rather. When Ahsoka tests Grogu to see what he is capable of, she mentions how he had to hide his powers from others in order to survive. This does make a lot of sense in the grand scheme of things, and also this further supports that Palpatine was perhaps aware of Grogu and wanted him found along with other Jedi. Anakin surely knew about Grogu, and so did Vader obviously. What does this entail? I think there is potential there to be explored in future narratives in the Empire era timeline. Ahsoka is reluctant to train Grogu and has a really heartbreaking dialogue line. I've seen what such feelings can do to a fully trained Jedi Knight. To the best of us. This clearly references Anakin Skywalker. I think she is still struggling with her lingering memories of the encounter on Malachor and is also afraid of what the child could potentially become. It is really cool how they are telling us that even this little cute child is capable of both great good and great evil. If you remember, in Season 1 the child almost killed Cara Dune. When it thought she was trying to hurt Din Djarin. When acting out of fear, even because of compassion, one can easily fall to the dark side. This is very much in line with the core themes of Star Wars. When Mando is getting ready to take on the Magistrate with Ahsoka, he mentions HK assassin droids. At first, I thought we were about to see a live-action Ahsoka along with an HK assassin droid, which blew my mind at the time. But it turns out these droids were nothing like HK from Knights of the Old Republic. I believe their visual design was based on Ralph McQuarrie concept arts. Dave Filoni is a big fan of his and likes to utilize McQuarrie's concepts. As an example, Zeb from Rebels is an early concept art of Wookiees that was never used in the movies. I'm not a fan of that particular reference, to be honest, the HKs I mean, given how these droids in the show had nothing to do with the original badass HK, but hey, I'm fine with it. I'm not gonna go around and nitpick every little detail I don't like. The episode overall was completely bonkers. It is worth noting that these droids had the 7th Fleet's insignia on them. The 7th Fleet was under the command of Grand Admiral Thrawn before the outbreak of the Galactic Civil War and the events that unfolded in Rebels. As I predicted before, Ahsoka seems to be going off to do her own thing and only guided Mando towards a new destination, Tython. Now, I'll get more into what we can expect on Tython in the upcoming predictions video, so stay tuned for that. Suffice to say, the planet itself has quite a big significance in the lore. It was mentioned for the very first time in Legends in the Darth Bane series of novels, written by Drew Karpyshyn, which by the way is quite possibly my personal favorite out of all the novels, both in canon and Legends. Tython was displayed more prominently in Dawn of the Jedi comics and the Old Republic MMO. In the latter, the planet was forgotten by the Jedi, and after the Sith Empire revealed itself, the Jedi re-established a secret temple there. In canon, Tython was mentioned for the very first time in Dr. Aphra comics. The planet is shrouded in mystery, and some believe that one of the first Jedi temples was built there, along with other worlds, such as Act 2 from The Last Jedi. Last but not least, the Beskar spear that Din Djarin acquired. I think he will use it in his fight with Gideon. I'll dive more into that in my predictions video, which should be up tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Be sure to let me know if I missed anything of significance in the comments, and may the Force be with you, always.